Hello there and welcome to another action-packed edition of Football Everyday. Hello there, I am Zack, and in the studio with me, we got the usual crew. We got Shebby, we got Nelsen. Hi guys.
Hello there.
Alright, of course, as usual on this show, it's all about football. So let's get straight into the football chat. Guys, this was a Champions League semi-final week, which meant that we had two action-packed games to mull over. Shebs, let's start with the first one on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning.
Yeah, it was a difficult morning, I would say. Because Chelsea came out with a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they killed the game. They played anti-football. They did everything possible not to lose.
Anti-football, I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, and they managed to do it. And they did it extremely well. They showed great defensive discipline. They didn't give away silly free kicks. Of course, they, like I said, they made it ugly. You know, let's try to irritate Barcelona to a point where Barca cannot play their normal game. So mission accomplished. I mean, you know, what they set out to do. And Gus Hiddink was talking about, oh yeah, we're going to play an attacking game. But you tell me, has Chelsea ever been an attacking team? Mourinho, pragmatic. Scolari was pragmatic. If anything, Hiddink has made them even more pragmatic, because he is, in my opinion, he's a master tactician, and I think, you know, he does extremely well. So they have done the first half, but I think it's not over yet for Barcelona.
Well, you know, it's all still to play. Chelsea's anti-football against the flamboyance of Barcelona. But Nelson, I tell you, mate, 0-0, Hiddink would have been happy with that if you gave him it at the start of the game, right?
Definitely.
He would have taken it, right?
Any coach would be happy with a 0-0, I think, against
Nou.
Barcelona.
Especially when you plan
exactly.
you know, to play the game such a way.
I think to echo what Shebby said, I think Chelsea brought the typical English, you know, physicality to Spain, and you know, and it got a result. I mean, that's what they wanted. But I think talking point for me would be what Guardiola said about, you know, the unfair yellow card, you know, awarding, where I think, you know,
for Puyol.
Yeah, but I think he's saying that his Barcelona team only committed like 7 fouls in the whole game, and compared to Chelsea's 20 or so.
I thought Puyol was lucky not to get sent off, because he'd been booked earlier. You know, I mean, there was one incident after which was even worse. But so I think if Guardiola looked at that, you know, he would realize that.
But you know what, guys, the upshot of it, Barcelona are going to be without Puyol for the second leg. They're also going to be without Rafa Marquez. This is going to weaken their defense.
Very much so. Now they are in deep trouble, because that's two very, very good centre-backs, two of their senior centre-backs gone. Gerard Piqué had a good game, but who is going to partner him? Because I don't think they've got too many good players. I see a nightmare happening, because Eric Abidal would be the likeliest choice to play at centre-back. And if we remember Eric Abidal in the European Championships, I can't remember against which team, he had an absolute nightmare, got sent off at centre-back. So advantage Chelsea simply because of that.
At this point, I think they missed the long-term absentee, you know, Milito, I believe. Their centre-back, Gabriel Milito, who's out.
Okay.
So,
and I think what's going to be crucial is that they tackle Real Madrid in the Clasico this Sunday. You know? I mean, the title-deciding Clasico, right? I mean, there may be more injuries, and you know,
I tell you what,
it's going to be a good game. But
it's certainly going to be exciting, though. Okay, the other semi-final, of course, was played early hours of this morning, and that was between the two Premiership clubs, Man United, Arsenal.
Shebby's smiling because United won.
Nelson, mate, I watched the game, and this is a game where United seemed to spurn a lot of chances, but still, at the end of the day, managed to keep a clean sheet and go in with a goal advantage. Are you happy with that?
I think you have to be at this stage of the competition against quality opposition like Arsenal. Although I hope they don't rue the fact that they didn't score more, but you know, I think Fergie set out and said that, look, we try and get a goal, keep a clean sheet, not give away an away goal, and I think he set out and he met his target. So I think he's got to be happy.
And you know, Shebby, a patched up Arsenal side, we were discussing before the start of the show. I mean, you know, they've had to mix and match, really cobble together a team. It didn't quite work out for them.
I think I thought Kieran Gibbs had a good game. You know, Sylvester, I mean, we all know he's never been convincing enough. But I thought, you know, the problem now is Arshavin, because you know he plays in the league, doesn't play in the cup, and to make up for that, why does Arsene Wenger have to make, you know, positional changes? You know, you go for one, play Samir Nasri in that advanced left midfield position, get Song or to sit alongside Denilson.
Sure.
But it's now Samir Nasri has to play as alongside Song, you know, and Arshavin's not there. You play Abu Dhabi. We all know Abu Dhabi. He's just going to be one of those, you know, players who has great potential, you know, but just does things for himself. His tricks and whatever. So I thought, you know, why? But as an attacking force, Arsenal were very, very poor.
Okay.
And
I
going
got it.
back to the Emirates, I think Man United have a goal or two in them.
Fantastic stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, perfect way to stop because we're going to take a little break now. When we come back, more football chat. So keep it right here on Football Everyday. No, you're right. Welcome back to Football Everyday, where the order of the day is football, football, football. Okay, we're going to take a little detour from our normal chat and get into some end of season awards, shall we say. Okay, recently this week it was announced that Ryan Giggs and Ashley Young were voted best players of the Premiership season. Shebby, mate, well, I know you like Ashley Young. How do you feel about the award to this lad?
No.
Think he's done enough to earn it?
No, the whole thing about this is that it is voted for by the players, and the votes come in January, in February they are collated, I mean, for players it's always what happened a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Players have never been brilliant,
but Ashley Young's
intelligent
had
enough to
a
remember.
decent season,
but
right?
I mean, he's had a decent season, but he's had one or two great performances where we've seen all the gigs of old. But when you talk about contributing over that period of time, I mean, Tim Cahill, he's been awesome. For me, Tim Cahill has really been fantastic. But no, I mean, great for Giggs to get the award. I wish they had waited until end of the season and said this is a lifetime achievement award. Kind of, now you can go off into retirement.
Right.
No disrespect, superstar, legend, but didn't deserve the award this time.
Right. Okay. So, but in case you didn't know, Ryan Giggs got the Player of the Award, and Ashley Young was nominated as the Young Player of the Year.
Who would your pick have been, very quickly? I mean, for young playership.
I mean, young player, yeah. If
it wasn't young,
you got to give it to Ashley Young, because I don't think too many. I mean, Stephen Ireland was in there with a shot. Unfortunately, he looks too old to be a young player, so I think that worked against him. But yeah, Ashley Young is at tremendous progress since he left Watford, came to Villa, been in the England team. So yeah.
Well, I guess Ryan Giggs got the sympathy vote there, but great servant over the years, so we can't really begrudge
like I said,
great player like
superstar,
Giggs, right?
legend, but not this time around. He didn't deserve it now. Previously he's won it, and so he deserved it then.
Okay. Well, speaking of awards, we've got our own little awards thing happening here, because I want to ask these guys, right? Last week, guys, we talked about our candidates for Best Manager of the Year. I want to flip that coin a little bit and get into your worst manager of the year. I mean,
can I go first?
Go ahead.
Sheb's chomping at the bit to get into this, but Sheb's, let's start with you. We've seen some strange managerial goings on throughout the season. Who's your candidate for worst manager?
I cannot go away from what happened to Spurs this season. Juan de Ramos.
All right.
Had absolutely no clue. Didn't know which was his best team. Kept blaming Comoli for the signings. He just was all over the place. So he might win the title with Real Madrid, or might not, or might finish runners-up. But for me, he is my main candidate, the best candidate for worst manager.
It's strange though, Sheb, with Juan de Ramos, because he came in towards the end of last season, managed to snare himself a trophy.
Exactly.
Carling Cup and that, and then he had a whole pre-season, but it all went pear-shaped very quickly.
So that's why he's the worst?
Perfectly said. Well, Nelsen, mate, who's your candidate?
For me, I have two close contenders. I feel is one could be Phil Brown. I think if Hull eventually go down. I mean, look, at the start of the season, people were bigging up Phil Brown like nobody's business, right? And now they've been literally in free fall. And I think another one would be Gareth Southgate. I think. For me, I don't know. Middlesbrough haven't been the team they have been over the seasons in terms of the overall performances and all.
I quite like Southgate because I mean,
but we tend to feel more sorry for Southgate rather than to really sort of.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a great manager. It's more like a sympathy vote, kind of like with Southgate, isn't it?
I mean, you can see what he's trying to do. Unfortunately, he hasn't got the players good enough to do that, and he's not going to change his philosophy or change anything.
Right.
So, I mean, he could be. I mean, people talk about Tony Mowbray because he's bottom of the league, but I like his philosophy.
Yep, exactly.
I like his brand of football, and he's stuck to it. And and if one day, I mean, if he ever, was to coach an Arsenal or a Liverpool, it'll be perfect for them because that's the brand of football they play. But when you don't have players of, or top players of enough quality, then you are going to struggle playing that brand. But I like him for his principles.
So I mean, I think especially Boro's forward line, I think has let them down tremendously this season. I mean, you talk about Aladier and Alfonso Alves.
Chunchai comes hot and cold.
And when you take Marlon King, to be your striker, I mean, what kind of message are you giving out? So
Okay, lads. Nice one there, but just before we go, I'd just like to throw my 2 pence in, and I tell you, my candidates, the dream team of Kinnear and Wise, 2 Cockneys in the northeast. That was never going to work out. Okay, we're going to take a little break now, but when we come back, we're going to get into the previews of the Premiership weekend, full fixtures coming up after this break. Hello there and welcome back to Football Everyday. Okay, before the break we were talking about our candidates for worst manager, and you know what, you can't have that kind of conversation without mentioning the dream team of the Man United old boys, Messrs Keane and Ince.
Hey,
of
we
course,
forgot them, Shep.
they didn't hang around long enough for us to actually remember them, but they didn't do too well as well. And of course, who can forget Luis Scolari's reign at Chelsea? All too brief reign, really. You agree with that, guys?
Oh yeah, no arguments.
Definitely.
Zack,
Okay,
definitely.
fantastic stuff. All right, we're going to move on with the show, and of course, there's a whole fixture list in the Prem to look into. So let's get stuck in with what I think is like the pick of this weekend's matches. It's got to be Newcastle versus Liverpool at Anfield. Shebby, this is a must-win for Newcastle. Can they get anything out of Liverpool at Anfield?
No. I've got this as a
it must be
3-0.
curtains then, really.
Yeah,
for
I've got it as a
Newcastle.
3-0, and I think that is a minimum of 3 because, I mean, you are going to go and play against a team that is in form, that's got nothing to play for except the title. They got to keep the pressure on. I mean, for me, no, nothing that Newcastle are going to get out of this game.
Well, that's a pretty doomy prediction because obviously a defeat for Newcastle could have serious repercussions. Now, can Shearer work his miracles? I mean, having seen Newcastle recently, they've been poor, to say the least.
I would like to think Shearer can.
But guys, do we even
Upset
want...
Liverpool because he's a Man United fan.
Do we even want Newcastle to stay up? I mean, this is a team that's had 5 managers this year. I mean, it's been a total shambles.
The impression I am beginning to get now is I think Alan Shearer is far too intelligent for the players on the training pitch. I think, they do a lot of things on the training pitch which the players are supposed to transfer to matches, but they're not intelligent enough to do that on in the matches. So I think that's a bit of a problem. Or maybe Shearer is trying to feed them too much info too quickly.
Sure.
That when they are in a game, they just completely just blank out.
Well, I posed this question in my tip talk this week, which you can read in the Football Pullout in the Star actually today. I said, are Newcastle too big to go down? Is any club too big to go down?
No. I mean, if you are
even one with Michael Owen in their front.
Doesn't matter.
Line, yeah?
It doesn't matter, And I think that is, what I'm trying to say is like, how do you run the club? The bigger the club, you should be running it better. You should be aiming for the best, top 5 best managers in the world or top 10 best managers in the world if you want to have continued success.
Yeah.
But, you've just mentioned Joe Kinnear, like, who, so that's just not the way to run a big club. It doesn't matter, big or small,
Realistically, for me, Newcastle are not going to get a result at Anfield. But I've been bold this week and gone with a 2-2 draw, only because of the desperate situation they're in.
Okay.
Only because
you
of the
never
desperate
know.
situation
Michael
they're
Owen
in.
might just resurrect and wake up and do something.
In the state they're in, right? Newcastle will take any point, anything that comes their way, even if it's just a point. They're definitely not going to win.
But that's the problem, Nelsen. They don't know how to go out there and play for a point. They just don't know how to do it. So that's the problem.
Well, another club in deep trouble is a club that whose manager we talked about earlier, Middlesbrough, Gareth Southgate's club. They're up against a Man United.
Yeah.
Couldn't come any more tough than Man
Yeah.
United. Now,
Going back to the Liverpool match, I think Liverpool will definitely need to beat Newcastle because Man U play Borough in the early kickoff, right? So if Man U beat Middlesbrough, as I think we're both expecting Man United to do
Shep,
so.
we've seen Borough rouse himself up to play big clubs and lose
Yeah.
against some of the worst clubs in the Prem. Could you see this same thing happening?
I think
They like to play big clubs,
Two,
right?
3 seasons ago, yes, but not this season. This season, I think they've lost players of quality, and I don't think they've replaced them. I don't think, and the thing now is the pressure is on. You can tell from the way the players react on the pitch, from the way they are playing, the pressure is on. Pressure has gotten to them, and Man United, unless Alex Ferguson decides to play 5 or 6 kids, which he won't because the title is his now, and he wants to seal it as soon as possible. So I don't see a way back. Tough, yes, but United to win.
Well, I feel sorry for Middlesbrough because they've had Arsenal one week and then United this week. So quickly, just before we wrap up, now score prediction from you?
3-1 to United.
3-1 to United, Chaps?
I'm going with a 2-1 to United.
2-1 to United. All right, lads. Well, don't forget there's a Classico for us to watch as well. So excellent weekend worth of football, eh?
Very much.
All right, fantastic. So this is this week's edition of Football Every Day. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in next week for more of the same. Until then, enjoy your football. Goodbye.
Yeah.